Okay, so for the first lesson of the shed project, what we're going to do is start out with a template file, and we're going to start out with architectural template. If this does not show up on your templates, then you can choose residential template. And we say OK. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to start drawing some walls. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click on wall. At this point, the generic 8-inch wall comes up, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle. I'm not too worried about the size of it. You can see this one's 37 feet 6 inches. The only thing that I'm concerned with right now is whether or not it's inside of my elevation cameras. I can hit escape to get out of that, and right now I have 4 walls. Hit escape, escape, and I'm out of it completely. Now what I want to do is I want to have a custom wall. I could go through and pick out all kinds of different walls from here, but the wall that I want to use is a custom wall. So I'm going to show you how to create a custom wall. So whenever I have my walls up in the properties, I'm just going to click on Edit Type. And whenever this comes up, what I want to do is I don't want to modify an existing wall. I want a duplicate wall that I can modify. So I hit the duplicate button, and I'm going to call this shed wall so there's no confusion. Now I can go in and edit the structure. In here we basically have a core boundary, structure, and a core boundary. So my structure, the structure of my building is going to be, first off, 3.5 inches. And this is going to be the actual width of a 2x4. So the sheds are going to be built with 2x4 walls, and the actual width of a 2x4 is 3.5 inches. I could go in here, I'll leave that as structure. I could go into the material and I could change the material to wood, but I'm really not worried about it because I'm not going to see it. It's going to be inside of my wall. So I'm going to X out of that. I'm going to leave this like that. Now I want to add another material to this wall. So I'm going to click right there on 2 and insert. Now you'll also notice that we have an exterior side and we have an interior side. I want this to be on the exterior side. If something would have happened that you would have put this below the stud, you can always click on it and move it up or down. So again, this is structure as well, and this one is going to be OSB, my sheathing. So I'm going to scroll down through here, my materials, and see if I can find OSB or something similar. And plywood would work fine. So I'm going to click on plywood, and I'm going to say OK. We're going to make the plywood a 1/2 inch. It's probably closer to 7/16, but for this purpose we're going to have it as a 1/2 inch thick. On the outside, past the core boundary, so basically the only things within the core of the wall is the structure. On the outside of the core boundary, we're going to insert another one, and this one is going to be a finish. And on the outside, we are going to use siding. So I can't find it in here in my project, so I'm going to come down here and see if I can find it through the different materials. Okay, so after looking around a little bit, you can always look for it up here. You could type in siding. Where we found the siding is under the Autodesk materials. In wood, we're going to use siding clapboard. And I'm going to click this little arrow that says adds material to document. And that's going to put it into my project materials. So I'll select that. And I'll say OK. And I'm going to give my clapboard siding a 3/4 inch thickness. On the inside of the wall, I'm going to use drywall on the inside of the shed. And you can see that it basically put it in the wrong place, so I can highlight it and I can move it down outside of my core boundary. I'm going to make this finish number 2, and I'm going to look through the project materials, and instead of it being drywall, it's going to be called gypsum wallboard. So I click that, I say OK, and I have a 1/2 inch thickness. And this is basically my wall. This is what it looks like in plan view, and that's what it looks like in section view. So I have my siding, my plywood, my studs, and my drywall. And I say OK. And OK again. So if I hit escape, you'll notice that these walls are still basic wall generic 8. So all I have to do to change those to the wall that I just made is highlight the walls. I did it with a window that time. I can also hover, hit tab, and then click, and I can come up here to my walls and choose the shed wall.